One woman says, y'all do know everyone in Africa isn't black, right? And not every country has a high racial tension as the US.
What? Bro, like I was saying, imagine if the roles were reversed. Let's say you go to a predominantly white country, so you just let a black person win this when the country is 98% white, when it's only 1% black?
In Zimbabwe, I am Brooke Jackson and I am a 21-year-old beauty therapist working and living in Harare Metropolitan Province. My passions are all things beauty, fashion, and just getting to know people on an individual basis.
Later.
Oh my goodness.
If you're black, nothing for you. But if you're white, there's something for you.
But this song is insane, bro. Who sat down and made this? This is an insane song.
The world of white is right, but black is wrong. If you're black, nothing for you. If you're white, there's plenty for you. Desperate babes on the prowl, in search of a white man. The white man, white man.
Now, of course, people are shocked at the new winner of Miss Universe, Rhodesia. My bad, Zimbabwe. Some thought it was a TikTok prank. Others thought it was a Candace Owens commercial for skin bleaching cream. Some folks were like, I didn't know there was a Zimbabwe in Sweden, because this a Miss Norway, a Miss Dutch, Miss Germany, Miss France. Many are wondering, how did Miss Jackson become Miss Zimbabwe? What in the Last Samurai Avatar, the Great Wall, is going on? Hollywood already has some scripts waiting for her. The first script is the Queen of Zimbabwe.
Sometimes I think there's like something wrong with me, because when I hear stuff like this, my initial thoughts isn't, wow, she isn't black. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't have any initial thoughts, because I don't really care who Miss Zimbabwe is. I've never cared. I don't know who the last 10 Miss Zimbabwe's are. I'm not gonna know who the next 10 Miss Zimbabwe's are, but I don't even know how to say Miss Zimbabwe, because it's not in my scope of reality. So it's kind of funny when I hear like people like outraged about this, because I'm like, do you really even care about this? Like, be for real. Do you really honestly care about who Miss Zimbabwe is, or do you just not like the fact that they're white?
Zimbabwe. Second script, Blindside 2, The Rescue. Zimbabwe had been out of the Miss Universe competition for over 22 years, only to come back and let Miss Brooke Jackson take the crown. And she didn't even have to Rachel Dolezal her way into the competition in a country where less than 1% of the population is Pilgrim. Is that a photo of Miss Jackson eating fufu to let y'all know she down with the culture? Sort of like the equivalent of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton hot sauce fried chicken photo to let y'all know we cool, G. I'm surprised she didn't ride off into the sunset on a lion.
Alright guys, so we gotta talk about a pretty fascinating story that reveals the hypocrisy of the left when it comes to this conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. You know, here in the United States, in the West, countries that are mostly white are expected to celebrate diversity. Okay, minorities deserve representation because they are underrepresented compared to white people in the population. This is something that we're told almost every single day, okay, and we are ashamed as racist bigots if we don't agree, right? If we don't agree that diversity is more important than other qualities that actually made these countries great in the first place, like, for example, meritocracy, okay? So with that being said, that leads us to this story right here that we got to talk about involving Miss Zimbabwe, because this is stirring up a whole lot of controversy, as the Miss Zimbabwe for 2023 is not how you would think a Zimbabwean woman would look, okay?
And I think his name is Greg. He made a very good point. Hold up. Put this kind of loud. Hold up, y'all. My apologies. I think someone's outside. But Greg, he made a very good point. He said, if you believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion, then he basically implied, why should you care that Miss Zimbabwe is white? And honestly, I didn't even look at it like that, because me personally, I don't necessarily care who wins this, but that's a solid argument. I mean, if you're all for like equal opportunity despite your race, despite what you look like, then this shouldn't even be an issue. But it's like people have conflicting beliefs. Like, you want inclusion, but you only want your inclusion. You don't want other people's inclusion who may be or underrepresented in a specific category. You know what I'm saying?
She's actually white, but she's an African woman, okay? And despite being an African woman who earned her way to the crown, you have the woke revolutionaries upset, right? They're upset in droves, right? Because a white woman is not supposed to win a beauty pageant in an African country, right? It's supposed to be a dark, melanated woman, okay? She's taking away a spot from a black woman because this is a black country, right? 95% of the population, black, African, okay? Melanated, okay? So how in the world could the 5%, right, actually win this award? Okay, it doesn't make any sense according to the woke revolutionaries. And the Miss Universe winner, her name is Brooke Jackson. Okay, that's her name. Okay, Miss Brooke Jackson again is getting some backlash. We're gonna read a little bit and then we're gonna see some of the TikTok reactions here. This person says, "This is the president of the Miss Universe organization. Now tell me why the F I would care about this organization and who they pick. If you understand the world, you understand how the system runs. That's not my pick. That's not my Miss Zimbabwe. Leave me the F alone."
Bro, this is just pure racism. Like, this is just pure racism, because I'm just thinking, what if the roles were reversed? Like, flip everything. It would be 100% obvious racism, but because, you know, the people who are saying this are black, it's no problem. It's racist.
LMAO, the shot is still tragic though. All those beautiful melanated women, and you telling me the European woman won a contest for black people? Yeah, so people are upset about this, okay? They really don't like the fact that she won the Miss Universe contest in Zimbabwe. We have more outrage here. How is this white? You know what? Miss Zimbabwe is ugly. I never call anyone ugly.
What?
A white woman being considered an African beauty queen will never get my kudos. A white woman can be Miss Zimbabwe in the real world, but a black girl playing a fictional mermaid character was a bridge too far for some. She had audacity.
Oh my goodness, bro. This is just well out of proportion. Here's my thoughts on this. The fact that a white woman can be Miss Zimbabwe in I guess this is a world beauty pageant, it kind of shows that they're going off of other traits that aren't just race. And what do I mean by this? What I mean is, if Miss Zimbabwe, or whatever the exact competition is, I don't know the exact competition, the beauty pageant, whatever, if they only picked black women, what is the difference from that in comparison to a place like Australia only picking white women to be Miss Australia, or just name any predominantly white country? What will be the difference? My thing is, there is no difference. It's just race. They can have someone who, let's say she is qualified. Let's say she just was the best, the best person who applied. It's not even just about beauty, I'm assuming. They probably have different other traits or other things they look for. So let's say she was the best, but like, oh, we're not picking her just because she's white. Then that's racism. And in comparison to the Ariel thing, I think a lot of people's outrage when it came to Ariel was the fact that Ariel was already a character in the movie, and they decided to pick a black woman off the strength, although I guess they were already played by someone who's white. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with it. If you didn't know, her name is Halle Bailey. She's an extremely exceptional singer, and I think she did an amazing role in that. So me personally, I didn't have a problem. She was the most talented for it. But even still, this is kind of like the same. People over looking at color. They're looking at color as if it's like this big, you know, like, oh, you have to be this, you have to do that. But my thing is, at the end of the day, they're still humans. And if she was the best for Miss Zimbabwe at this time, then She's just the best. Same thing with Ariel. If she was the best person who applied, she had the best vocals, if she was the most suitable, then it's just that. I feel like the culture now, like, it's not that much honesty, and everything is like, you never really know where a company's head is at. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if people just pick the best people who are qualified, then we can be more, open about this. But nowadays, you never really know how a company is viewing something. So it leaves everyone on edge all the time. Hey y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
To say she's a purebred Zimbabwean, I have no words. Yeah, I do. What the whole F? Okay, so let's go ahead and roll the clips of the TikTok outrage. Take a look.
So let's start with the comments. One woman says, y'all do know everyone in Africa isn't black, right? And not every country has a high racial tension as the U.S. This person says Africa has to do better for itself. Sad. Another person says, embarrassing, but Zimbabwe's history is disgustingly rooted in colonization. At the fact that the most basic white woman won Miss Zimbabwe in a country where 98% of the population is black and less than 1% white is colonization at its finest, especially when the owner of the competition is a white woman. You just basically told the entire population of Zimbabwe that black women are not the beauty standard, and if you don't look like this, then you don't stand.
What? Bro, like I was saying, imagine if the roles were reversed. Let's say you go to a predominantly white country and you say, so you just let a black person win this when the country is 98% white, when it's only 1% black? This is, I don't even know a word. I don't even know a word I can use I don't even know, but this is just racist. Like, this is just pure racism, bro. And people say, oh, it's not racist because they're black. That's racist. Like, this is pure racism. I can't even say I understand the outrage because, for one, we're in America. So whatever they do over there, I mean, it's their country. If they picked her, then they picked her. You don't even understand the political climate, I guess, of Zimbabwe. I don't understand. I don't know anything about Zimbabwe. But this is just racist. Like, people are just finding something to be mad about. And it kind of seems like people hate, other races. I'm not going to say any specific. It's like just people hate. It's just a lot of hate out there. It's just a lot of hate. Like, the fact that you're mad about this, it just says a lot.
A chance, total.
I don't understand why everyone's moaning that Brooke won Miss Zimbabwe. She did.
You sound so ignorant is bad. It's true that I don't know who put this girl in that position, but you sound ignorant. Like, do you even know the history of your country? Like, do you even know the girl's family history? There is no way, because you're sounding British, I'm guessing you live somewhere here. There's no way they're letting a black girl represent England in Miss Universe just because she's been here from generation to generation. There's no way. I don't know why some black people want to be white people pick me so bad. Like, so bad. You're representing Zimbabwe. That means you're going to be the face of Zimbabwe, which is an African country. Why is it a white person's face? Like, do you know how long ago was fucking colonization and all that? We do not need any white representative in anything in our lives anymore. Like,
and when I hear stuff like this, it makes me think back to when President Barack Obama was first in office, and people were outraged the fact that a black man was in office. I'm not talking about they disagree with his beliefs, and y'all probably know what I'm talking about. People were mad that a black person was in office. It just makes me look at that, and like, it kind of is like the same undertone when I hear this. I kind of get where she's coming from, where she's saying like, oh, we don't need any more representation. But on the other hand, I don't get it. Because you may look at it as if, well, our country was taken over and we want to take it back. Whereas I look at it from like the American perspective. The embracing of different cultures, the embracing of different colors. And when you embrace different cultures and different colors, it leads to not only economic growth, it leads to more love for one another. When you have this disdain and this resentment deep down for another race or just another group of people, there's something wrong with you. And I get it. It's probably your home country, but you're saying all this while everything you have wasn't invented by black people, or wasn't invented by people from Zimbabwe, or invented by people from your country. Everything you enjoy doing wasn't invented by people who are from your country or who are black. Everything you enjoy eating isn't from just your culture. Everything you enjoy watching isn't just from your culture. So how come all the things that you love to do, you love to eat, you love to watch, places you love to go, cars you love to drive, buildings you love to live in, clothes you love to wear, that wasn't invented by just your people? But when it comes to representation, oh, that's where you draw the line. When it's benefiting you, that doesn't count. When you're on TikTok right now, on an iPhone, TikTok created by an Asian man, iPhones created by a white man. That doesn't matter here. But when there's a representation of someone who's not your color, that's where you draw the line. And this is what I'm saying. People want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to have these racist thoughts on one hand, but they also want to benefit from the creations and ideals of other cultures or other people who do not share the same background as them. How is that fair?
You sound so bad, especially for a Zimbabwean. Like, I've been to school with you guys. You're the smartest people on the freaking planet. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just shocked and flabbergasted that you confidently come here and say that. Anyways, I'm waiting for the royal family or the British to put you in a position that they would never put a black person in. I'm just waiting, because that pick me is just too much. Like, I don't know.
Y'all just keep on playing with us. This is the comment right here, okay? We know white people exist in Africa. That's not the point. The point is, a white person was chosen to represent the beauty in Africa instead of an African woman. Stop acting stupid like y'all don't see the issue. Before I even get in these comments and start acting stupid, that's the comment right there. I also like the other comment. A white woman to represent y'all? I guess y'all don't think a beautiful black woman could do the job. That's what it's giving. I mean, but if they're happy, I mean...
Let's dissect these comments. We know white people exist in Africa. That's not the point. The point is, this person was chosen to represent the beauty in Africa instead of an African woman. So stop acting stupid like y'all don't see the issue. First of all, Zimbabwe, for one, doesn't represent the entirety of Africa. That's like saying it was a Miss Canada and someone chose them to represent all the beauty in North America. It's not the same. For two, when it comes to these pageants and stuff, it would be different if a white person was chosen every single year for the past 10, 15, 20 years, and like, okay, in a predominantly black area, let's say it's 98% black, and for the past 15 years, Miss Zimbabwe was a white woman, then it's an issue. But if there was never, ever in history, a white Miss Zimbabwe, and for the time being now, someone happens to win it, that goes to show you that they're not just looking at race. They're not just looking at, okay, we're only going to, you may be the best qualified, you may be the most qualified for this, you may even be the best at what this competition is, but just because you're white, we're not going to choose you. By the fact of them having someone who's white in it, shows that they don't just say that. By you trying to sit here and say that because a white woman won, they're trying to say the entire beauty standard in Africa is just anti-black, when it's kind of a contradiction when 98% of the country is black in Zimbabwe. It just doesn't make much sense to me. And the next comment, a white woman to represent y'all? I guess you didn't think a beautiful black woman could do the job. What's the difference between saying that and looking at a country like America, my other example, when a black man won the president, when black people only take up 13% of the country? What would be the difference if someone's saying a black man to represent y'all? I guess you didn't think a smart, intelligent white man could do the job. What would be the difference? There is no difference. We're a minority here. White people are a minority there. What's the problem with having ideals and systems in place to where race isn't so much intertwined? And that's what I was saying earlier in the video. We want life to be good for us. We want the beauties of life. We want the benefits of other cultures. We do. We enjoy Asian food. We enjoy tacos. We enjoy all the benefits of other cultures. We enjoy their inventions. We enjoy their lifestyles. We enjoy their places they like to have fun at. We enjoy their sports. We enjoy everything. But when it comes to representation, when it comes to that one thing, that's where we draw the line, and that's a problem to me. That's a huge problem to me. But anyways, I'm going to end this video right here. If you have any thoughts on it, let me know in the comments. Jojo, and I'll see y'all later.